It's on? All right, fantastic.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
I have. Start the podcast with that. Just do it. Put the camera on Harry. Let him cook for a little bit.
Fucking me.
Start it up.
Hey guys. Today, no, I'm kidding.
That's terrible.
What do you fucking mean, bro?
Welcome to Everyday People with Ethan Harry, everybody. I'm here with Harry Aquilina. Like, when I started this podcast, you're one of the first people that came to mind to have on the show. You really are.
You said this every time. I watch his podcast and you said right to Leon's face.
Yeah,
So,
well, dude.
he's cheating on me, actually. I'm kidding.
No, but your energy is infectious, and the people who are willing to come on early in the show, it's a testament to like how good friends we kind of are. You know, to trust me and to come on here and to sit down and have a super long discussion about who knows what and who knows if it'll be good or not. If
Who knows? Oh, there's no pressure.
There's no pressure, but it is like, you know, there is
pressure.
It feels pretty professional, you know.
I love it. The set's done really well.
No,
Looking good.
Thank you. It's awesome to have you, Harry. I wanted to dive into the soccer straight away. No holds bar. No long story short. We're doing long story long today because God. I want you to really break it down. Harry, what was your first memories of football?
Oh my God. This is crazy. I think I was like 7 years old and C4 FC on this grass pitch and I go in for this slide tackle. And this kid completely knees me in the face. And I'm just like on the floor, just like lying down. And like there's that many mums around me. I'm like, oh, mum. But then all the mums look at me. And I don't remember a thing. It was just a crazy, weird memory. And that's all I remember.
Wow. So so you were already signed up to a team and that's what you were playing?
Yeah, at 7.
Yeah.
I was young. Yeah. And in Canberra.
So that was like your first experience playing in team.
Well, you asked my first ever memory.
No, I hear you.
Obviously, we can dive into my professional experience.
That's what the plan is.
But that's down the track. Yeah.
Wow. So you continued playing soccer through your junior years.
Yeah, 7 till 12.
When was it obvious that you were starting to stand out from some other kids, and especially when it came to keeping?
Oh, that's the thing, right? Stu Holman is one of my mate's dads, and his son is Corey Holman, and he has 2 sons, Jake as well, and they both are professional footballers, right? They're just freaks. I don't know what bloody Stu feeds them. Like, it's ridiculous. And the daughter, she's professional as well. Wow. All 3, so they're nuts, right? Mum's like a CEO, dad's like a wealth advisor. Just this crazy family. Like, they're just beasts at everything they do. I love them to bits. Anywho, so I was playing futsal one time, and I was just chucked in goals and I started making saves and Stu goes, he's good with his hands. I'm like, oh, really? So then from then, my confidence is built. I just love keeping. And I suppose I just pursued it, half a game each week, built from half a game to 3/4 of a game to a full game. And then from there, I just started, making saves and progressing. But that was quite late, I'd say, maybe 12 to 13.
Okay, so 12 to 13, you were doing 100% of your time in the goalkeeping sphere.
Yeah.
And you did all the way up until now.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So tell me about the journey from like 12, 13 to, when it turned more professional, like those, like junior years where you're in high school and you were really shining, you were Div 1. Like, were you winning a lot of like club championships?
Oh, yeah, I had all the patches, sewed on the floor.
I know, on the short.
It was so heavy. Oh, that was a good old days.
All the coolest kids had the most patches.
Yeah, the biggest flex. No, so yeah, I think 13, 14, that was reps with Manly United. And that was quite full on for being young, right? It was 4 trainings a week and game of the weekend. So you really get immersed in that professional environment straight away. And I suppose that's good, right? It prepares you for the future, prepares you for that professional environment. From then on, obviously 15 to 16, that's when I started getting noticed a lot because I was pretty tall for my age, but I peaked at like 14. Oh, 6'1". I had all the baddies. No, I'm kidding. My girlfriend, I love you. So yeah, I was quite tall, and then that's what also got me in goals, obviously. So it was a mix of everything. The height is classic. Now I'm like one of the smallest keepers. I'm only 6'1", which is like small, but
you have a long frame though. Like your wingspan is.
Why don't you say this right?
It really is
because
it's not proportional to your height. It's bigger.
Oh yeah, Redmayne, the keeper. Yeah. So
who does he play for again?
Well, he was at Sydney FC.
Okay,
and I think he's just being let go, unfortunately. Yeah, club legend, good guy. Moving on, his wingspan is the same as mine, but he's 3 inches taller than me.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
We'll see.
So my wingspan is ridiculously long.
No.
And I'm looking at coaches like, look at the wingspan. Don't look at my height. I may have a short little neck, Yeah, so
15, 16, you're really starting to shine. You're really starting to get noticed.
Yeah,
right?
Picking up.
Where does the transition become where this is more than, I'm playing really well to like, oh, this is becoming really serious and this could be something I do professionally?
Yeah, 16, 17, I know Sydney FC contacted me, and I was just like, wow, what? They want me? Although I thought I was quite a good keeper, I didn't think I was that good, but they obviously saw potential, right?
Yes.
Then I went into that environment, and I swear to God, that was the most intense thing I've ever done. It was 5 times a week training, and that transition, that's when I knew like I had a chance, right, to go pro. And I suppose I took it. I took it as best as I could, and I haven't regretted it once. Although I'm not professional now, I do look back on my history and I go, I did the best I could. Because it's so competitive in New South Wales, especially.
That's one of the most important things, Harry, to know that you gave it your all.
I know I did.
Nothing more that you could do. Yeah. Like, because leaving a bit of yourself out there isn't worth it, and having regret, it's not worth it. You got to put 100% of yourself into everything you do. Otherwise, you look back with regret, and it's not worth it. 16, 17, your training gets upped from 4 times a week to 5 times a week, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
What was the difference like when it came to time commitment, when things started to become more professional? 4 times a week is also an intense schedule, by the way. But what was that step up like next level?
See, now that's the thing, right? I left at roughly 17, 18, back to Mount United, which is rep, right? For about 3 times a week. Then I went back to Sydney FC. But then this is when it got really intense because I'm like, why do they want me again? When I'm, 18, turning 19, like they must see something in me. I got to take it even more serious. So I popped up the level, right? I was, putting in those trainings, gymming each week, every day. And I suppose from then, my first training back to Sydney FC was with the A-League, which is like professional footballers, right? And that shit was scary. I had Redmayne, right, kicking balls at me. Like, I couldn't catch a thing. I was shitting it. I was absolutely shitting it. But it was an amazing experience. And then when I went back into that environment, I was like, fuck, this is it. I can do this. I can do this. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so now that you're at Sydney FC, give me a taste of what it's like. Like, what's a week in their shoes when it comes to the gym routine, the diet, the amount of training, the amount of time, like, on the field with the ball at your feet?
As a keeper, right, like my diet can be not as good. Like I can obviously get away with those snacks and stuff, and I can have a Coca-Cola, whatever. So what? There's no football Sydney FC diet that I had to stick by.
Okay.
Like there actually was a book.
Did they have nutritionists there working at the club?
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Oh, it was very
so
serious.
they would work with you, but it wasn't like, really hard.
They weren't too strict.
Okay.
I think the A-League isn't as strict as you can tell.
I hear you.
By the fitness and quality. Right? But yeah.
No, fair enough. What about the gym schedule?
Gym? Oh God.
Because you're not like
your body's battered, right? Like you're training every day. It's so hard to get out of football training. Let's go for a gym sesh.
I hear you.
It's difficult. Like unless pump some pre-workout, get motivated. Crazy thing I ever did to motivate myself was I got a picture of Redmayne on my phone and I said, "I'm coming for you." And I'm like 19 years old. This guy's a giant beast. And I'm like, I'm coming for you.
I'm going to make it.
I'm like, come on, Redmayne, bring it.
What type of exercises would you be doing? Because you're not going for a PR. You're not doing hypertrophy. You're looking for explosiveness, for that quick reaction time, especially as a keeper.
Yeah.
What are some of your like tips for developing that fast twitch muscle?
Oh, the fast twitch. I think it's half natural. But then you have to build on that, obviously. So the way I built on that was plyometrics and just power plyometrics. And on the court, the amount of power I did in training, but I didn't realize, is incomparable to anyone who thinks they are doing power. The keeping role is insane.
No, you're right. Yeah. It's a game of inches and just milliseconds.
But literally, the micro step you take, that inch, the save you make, saves the game.
I know. The whole game. The whole game is
gets you noticed, right? It's just,
It really is. Like, the cardio of the keepers doesn't have to be as good as the rest of the, like...
It's a different type of fitness.
It's almost like a different type of sport for that one player.
Literally. So...
It's like an individual sport in a team game.
Yeah, and that's why we get called different breeds.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take it, right?
And that's why being a keeper is so interesting. Yeah. Like, like a regular soccer player, especially like a striker, someone who's scoring the goals, they're an interesting interview too. But someone who's a keeper, it's like a solo sport in a collective environment.
Well, like if I fuck up at the pitch, it's a goal. The striker, he fucks up, nothing, right? The pressure on me is completely different. The position is different.
Exactly.
It's quite unique in itself.
So coming into that Sydney FC environment for the first time, right? When you were shitting it, like, they were firing balls at you, you weren't able to save a thing.
Yeah.
It was just so much pressure. And as a keeper, it's a different level. Because, if you're running around out there and you've got a man, you're trying to, tag him, shut him down, and try and get a bit of the ball. That's different. But, if you're letting goals through,
it's do or die.
It's really obvious.
It's literally black or white. You have to do it. You can't.
Exactly. how were you able to deal with that pressure? Because you were in that environment for a long time. Like, it's not like you were in there for a short amount of time. You know, you sort of succeeded on your goals and you stayed on this path for a while. And then, you know, we'll get on.
Yeah, my injury.
Yeah.
Classic NBL 1 player injury. Look, I mean, the pressure itself, I think this is so funny, but my first time ever smoking weed, right? I was like 14, 15. Segue, I know. But
what a segue.
But I know. But there was this dude, he's like, just embrace it. And that stuck with me. I don't know why, but it stuck with me my whole life. And I'm on this A-League pitch, and I'm like fit as a fiddle, and I'm like, shit, I need to embrace this moment and take it, and I can't fear it because I'm so lucky I get to do this. I go, kids don't ever get the chance, and I'm here on this pitch. I'm just going to have fun and embrace the feeling of this. And it was wicked. And that's what turned my mindset.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's really why.
And then I swear to God, like 30 minutes into my session, I started making beautiful saves, brilliant footwork. I was on top of it. I was like, I'm back. I'm here. These are just people who are doing their job, and I'm doing mine.
That's when the flow state comes.
That's
when
it.
You're comfortable.
Yeah,
that's actually one of the things we mentioned on one of the first episodes of this podcast, that I really wanted to be comfortable in this set, and that the guests could be comfortable with me sitting here and having Kyle here and the cameras and everything. We wanted to make it a comfortable environment so that we could get into a flow state conversation.
Well, that's how I feel. I feel like there's like a bubble around us, right?
I know.
It's so nice.
It's just lovely in here. It's warm.
Yeah.
You got the screen. It's
you get like a little fire there for us.
And as we said, no one's really listening right now. No, these episodes don't matter at all. We might as well have some fun.
Yeah,
like,
we can get cancelled. Like, no, I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. We can't get cancelled.
We're kidding.
We don't want to get cancelled too early. Like, maybe later, but we'll see.
Usually most people get cancelled when they're like very famous.
Well, they're not going to cancel me now. No one's watching. It's literally just,
like,
you know, Noah, Joel,
my mum was watching it.
Carl, that's it. And your mum, really. She's our biggest fan.
Hey.
She said I was a natural interviewer.
Yeah, she said Ethan could be on radio straight away. Because we have a friend, right, called Bailey Kenzie. Oh, you would love him, mate. He works, I think, 9 News currently. And he's on crime reporting. And he's just a natural at speaking.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a script, though. I'm not a script type of person. Like, this form, the reason I started this is because this format is what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, just something to talk openly and express myself, have friends on.
It isn't systematic at all.
Yeah, there's no script. Yeah. Like, you saw me today. I don't have notes here today. I had notes for the first 2 episodes, but then for the JP episode, I didn't have any notes, and now I don't have any notes.
Just let it rip.
The notes are good because they're kind of like a comfort thing. They kind of ground you and bring you back, and they can kind of shift the conversation in a productive way. But they constrain you to talking about things that you've already talked about before. Yeah. And it's sort of like an unnatural element to the conversation.
Of course, yeah.
But anyway, off this tangent, back onto football. Let's talk about sort of, because you did quit football for a little while.
Yes.
Right? The last time we spoke, you weren't playing football super seriously.
This is hilarious. About 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago, we did a test episode with Harry, Carl, the whole thing set up just to get everything sorted. We had blue curtains. It was too dark. We had to change it up. We got them on.
Yeah, I'm about to say, the red carpet, is it leather?
It's not leather. It's like this. It's this nice material, though, and it blocks out the sound and the light really well and creates this cozy environment. But what did the end of that Sydney FC run kind of look like for you? Because I know we talked about your coach.
Utterly depressing.
Okay, talk to me about that.
Because I tore my labrum in my shoulder, right, which is a piece of cartilage, and it completely separated off my shoulder, right. I did the full thing, which is super rare.
How'd you do it?
High ball, caught it, and when you extend your arm, you're already about 40%, 60% dislocated in general. So all it takes is the perfect love tap. Literally, it was like that hard, popped out, and I'm like screaming on the ground. Everyone's like, "What's wrong? Get up, get up!" I'm like, "I can't get up. I'm stuck." Like, ah. I remember everyone's like trying to pick me up, and I was just like in agony.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. That caused like my absolute downfall. Not like a bad way. I totally embraced it. Like I said, you know, it's meant to happen. Moving on. 6 months out. So in that 6 months, I think the club just didn't even like know about me. They just forgot about me, right? And I just started gymming, got big. I was just trying to pursue other things, you know, right? Like, I don't give up. I want to keep pushing, right?
Yes.
Come back to training, and the 2 keepers below me have just taken over. Like, not in the respect that like they're as good as me, but at their age, they were just better than me. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they were just guns. So now I'm competing with 2 other keepers who are below me, and I had to catch up to them. So I caught up. Now we're on the even playing field. But obviously, as an older person who's not as good now, I'm less of an investment, right?
I understand.
So I saw it coming like a good 2 months into. I was like, oh, here we go. This is gonna be a battle, and put in the hard yards, did my best, And I think it came to the point when they weren't even playing me in the 20s, although I was an NPL 1 first grade, which is men's, right? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You aren't playing me in my fucking age group? You're playing me in 20s? I was like, this is just disrespectful to me, my name, and my family. So I thought, fuck this, like I'm leaving, right? And that was a shock to them. They're like, what, he's leaving? I'm like, yeah, fuck you guys. Like, you guys didn't give me shit. And the fact they didn't even like help me reach out to other clubs, well, they did slightly, but not as much. It just shows their
That they didn't really care.
They didn't care. I'm just a number.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's terrible that like, you know, things like that can leave such a sour taste in your mouth. We talked about this question on the first episode, right? But I wanted to ask you it again because your response was so good. When football became something that wasn't just recreationary, it started to become financial and professional. How did your relationship with the game change?
Yeah, it changed completely. I think tasting money was just so insane. Being paid for something that like I just love doing was just extraordinary, right? Like imagine getting paid for this podcast and then please. But then, like, imagine getting paid for this podcast and then getting dropped from the podcast and then you don't get paid anymore.
I know.
It's just like heartbreaking.
Dreams
it's just like
snapped in half.
Yeah, it's just like shit, what do I do? And he was like, I suppose there was this interception where it was the perfect time in my life. I was getting paid to play like what I do. I was loving it. I'm doing it. And I suppose coming from not being paid at all, that was wicked. But then as soon as I stopped being like paid as much, how do I put this? Shit.
Take your time with it.
Dude, we're gonna cut this part out.
No. Take your time with it. We really don't have
Dude,
to.
I just got so flustered.
No, it's fine.
No, I was thinking about how this is like psychology for me right now. Yeah, literally, this is a psychology session. I'm getting able to express myself.
Therapy, right?
This is therapy. This is good.
It's definitely sort of a form of therapy.
This is a form of therapy.
You get to talk through your emotions, express yourself freely.
Well,
I
like
feel
you putting that question on me, I was like, shit, how do I express this again?
No,
Because last time it
was a great answer, and it still was a good answer.
I can't even remember what I said.
Money and football, right?
Yeah.
I think you were kind of talking about how at the start there was it was kind of like you're getting paid to do what you love.
Well, I was doing it because of passion.
Exactly.
And because of like I've been bred with it. I've been just doing it my whole life, right? Then I turn that corner, I get paid, and I suppose that taste of money was just insane. But then I suppose once I didn't get money, I started going, fuck this. Like, what's the point of playing football? And I was like, what? How can I change my mindset so quickly and not
What time did that happen?
roughly like about a year ago?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
when I was only doing it for money.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get professional football from it and that status. I couldn't get that income, that professional football life. Going from that to semi-pro, I was like, what do I do now? Like, do I just milk it for money? And that's where my mindset flipped. And that's all I wanted to do it for was for money, which is awful.
No.
I was like,
that's the thing. And it kills the passion. The thing that brought you to the sport in the first place was that passion, that drive. That
it was me when I was 7 years old being slide tackled by that kid, right?
Exactly,
Like, that's what brought me to it. Yeah.
And that whole journey manifests into something that eventually gets spoiled by money. You know, which plays such a terrible role in something that you were so passionate about in the first place.
My greed was just ridiculous.
It's just natural that takes over. And then because finance is such an easy like metric to measure, because when you go out and you have a good game, right, you don't get like a measurable statistic from that. But when you get paid a certain amount, you're like, oh, I know, like $1,000, that's a lot of money, right? That's a measurable thing. And if they pay me $2,000, that would be even better.
Yeah.
And you can and then you start thinking along this like very measurable route instead of like, how much fun am I having? Isn't this awesome that I get to play soccer every day and chase my dreams?
You forget entirely.
Yeah. Like how awesome is it that I get to focus on my training, my sleep, and my diet, while most people work a job that ruins a lot of those things for them, right? So it takes away those blessings because it shifts your mindset into a different measure of success, which is ultimately fruitless, right? Money can provide fruit, but it can't be the tree. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
Anyway, we could get on that yarn too. But I want to bring it back to the soccer because I really want to break this down. Harry, you told me 4 weeks ago that you quit soccer. You were done.
Well, you were done. I know, I was done.
And you've come here today and you said you got some news for me.
Well, I had multiple clubs reaching out to me, like Instagram DMs. I was like, who's this? I had people on my phone calling me. I was like, oh crap, here we go again. Because the transfer window is happening on the 24th, right? And so clubs go berserk, wanting keepers, keepers are injured. And then there's NPL 3 team called Parramatta FC, NPL 3. So I've gone from A-League to NPL 1 to NPL 2 to NPL 3. Anyways, this NPL 3 club goes, hey, come play for us. Just two trainings a week. and I get X amount of money, which is brilliant for it. Like more money that was being paid at my other club. And I was like, F off. I was like, this is great. So once again, here comes the money factor, right? But then I went for a training. I've done 2 weeks with him, and I'm still deciding. I'm like, do I do it or not? And then the passion came back. I was like, I love this. I was like making that save, making that block. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And then boom, it sparked. It was that perfect balance between income and like, yeah, just playing the sport for what it is.
Because that's the perfect balance, right?
Exactly.
To make money doing what you love is the dream of the average man, right?
Yeah.
It's just that's what everyone aspires to. That's the manifestation of this podcast, really.
But it's almost like I'm restarting now. I get to restart NPL 3. Who knows? I might go NPL 1.
Exactly.
I might go pro again, which is ambitious, but you never know.
You never know.
Never know.
And I know your work rate is insane. And I know like when you were, because I first met you when you were still like professional, right? That's like when we started working at JD Sports together.
On the brink of it, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and so when we first met, I knew that version of Harry, and it was 5 trainings a week, dialed in on the diet, dialed in on the nutrition, and I've kind of slowly seen you not lose the passion for football, but kind of like taper off in terms of intensity and shift your focus into many other arenas.
Yes.
Because like, we're talking about football now, and I'm kind of treating this as a football or
that's okay.
conversation. But we could talk about a million other things. So you are a well-rounded individual, and like, not just in your career, but in your hobbies too. But okay, when it comes to a second chance in football, right? What are some of your goals going forward? Like, is it just to have fun, or do you have things in your head where it's like, I want to do like, and how do you motivate yourself? Do you motivate yourself through goals? Like, I want to.
It's so difficult because I picked up so many hobbies in the 8 weeks of not doing football. It's funny. Like, I think I told you this last time, right? It's when your body doesn't be so physical, right? At the same time, sorry, the camera's freaking me out. At the same time, the energy doesn't go towards your body and it goes towards your brain. And so I feel smarter in the last 8 weeks. It's crazy. I feel more intellectual. I'm able to remember things and numbers and codes and coding and all this stuff way better, right?
Wow.
As of not playing football. So
you think that like using your body less and like physically makes your mind a little bit more capable.
It's sharpened. Yeah, the energy goes towards your brain, right?
Wow.
It's like when you close your eyes, you hear better. The classic saying, right?
I feel like if I completely exhaust myself, then my mind isn't working that well. But a good balance is where I'm perfect. Because if I've just sat around all day just vegging out, just trying to preserve my mind, I end up just going insane. I've got to train a little bit. I've got to get up and do something, get some stimulation going.
It's innate, like, thousands of years ago, like we're hunting, and now we're at a desk. Like, you got to get that innate sense back in you. I don't know, hunt a bit. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Do you do any like hunting or fishing or any like animal stuff?
I used to spearfish with my mate Luke Neuenhoff, but like that was like random as hell. Like maybe like once every month.
Spearfishing's intense, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh my god, I was at Kelko Headland, like North Kelko Headland one time.
Yeah.
And I go to the rock pool, right? And like I'm like, oh, let's go, Nui. I have my my spear on my hand. I'm diving down. I see the octopus. I'm like, octopus? I'm going in for it. It swims away. It goes into this small little hole and it plugs itself in with a rock. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This thing's smart. And so me and this octopus are having this relationship. It's like this back and forth battle. It was nuts. And eventually I pull out that. It inks me, flies through. I'm like, where'd it go? It's now in the rock pool. And you know, like the hole which connects the sea to the ocean pool?
Yes.
Once again, it plugs itself in. And I go, Nui, go around. And then it plugs that side of the hole. Yeah, ridiculous. And then I just jab it and I take it.
You got him?
But then how's this, right? I'm walking out of the pool and I see a sign that goes, no spearfishing octopus. So I just killed an octopus. It was so mean to me. But I had to do it.
It happened.
It happened.
Dude,
Sorry, that was the absolute segue. But...
No. I got my own octopus story. I was fishing with my 12-foot surf rod off like South Curly's pool.
12 foot.
Yeah, well, it's a big surf rod so I can get a good cast out.
Respect.
And I had a huge cast out and I was sitting there with like some pilchard baits and maybe a big like squid bait or something.
Yeah.
And this just like reel just starts going off the chain. And I'm like, damn, what is this? Like, it's not swimming like a regular fish, but I got something. Like, it's not seaweed.
Heavy, right?
Oh, it was heavy.
Yeah.
And I was fighting this thing for like 30 minutes. Eventually, I'm like, is it in? Is it in? I look down and this giant, because I'm like on like the edge of the pool looking down off like this like side of this sort of cliff thing. And the octopus is like sucked to the cliff. And I'm like standing toe to toe with it. I'm like, Oh shit! And it's a big Pacific octopus, a big red one. You know those?
Shit.
Like I don't know if that's the same one that was it a big red one?
Mine was minuscule.
Oh, dude, mine was like, mine I reckon like the size of this table.
Are you kidding
like,
me?
Legit. Like
Are you
if we
freaking
put it in the middle here, its tentacles would be out
Holy
there. It was huge. Like I was low key scared. Like I was scared. It was like because it was like 9 p.m. at night. I think it was pissing down rain, and I'd caught a few fish, and like the waves were kind of coming, and you're like, dude, when you're fishing that spot too, you're like half chain surfing, half fishing, because if a big set comes through, you could get cooked.
Just stop.
Right? So anyway,
What a story.
how about a little octopus story for you Monday night?
Did you eat it?
No. I let him go.
Let it go?
Like, dude, I was scared. I was just like, I tried to get the hook out of its mouth. I think I did get the hook out of its mouth, to be honest, but it was like, it just kind of came loose eventually.
They're not too violent, though.
No.
They're actually quite beautiful. There's a lovely documentary on them on Netflix.
My Octopus Teacher.
Yeah.
It's a good, I was just about to say.
Is it 3 episodes or 1?
No, I think, I can't exactly remember, but it's a brilliant show.
Isn't it
If you
crazy?
haven't
The
seen
relationship
it,
between octopus and...
everybody.
Pardon?
I was gonna for 4 years a degree.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know.
Octopus teacher.
Oh,
But my
I get the
octopus
joke
teacher-
now. Sorry.
I don't get it.
I didn't get it either. I was just saying that to make him feel good. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, back to football then. Because this is my octopus thing we talk about for ages, but here we are.
Sorry, bro.
Okay.
Some fun.
So.
Oh god.
I know you're a lot bigger now than you were when you were taking it more professionally because
Muscular wise.
you know,
Yeah.
you're definitely way more. Has that impacted your reaction time?
100%. I remember I got so big, right? I was 94 kilograms for a 6'1" man, 6'1" man, and I was like, crap, I'm big. I go back to training with the A League, and all the keepers are like, Harry. I'm like, yeah. They're like, are you on steroids? I'm like, what the fuck? No. So they literally thought I was taking steroids. That's how big I was. That's just to give you an expression of how big I was. Moving on. Yes, I was slow as fuck. I couldn't make one save. It was embarrassing. Dude. But now though, look, I'm not too big. I'm okay. I found a balance, between beer, cigarettes, and I'm kidding. I found a good balance between, being big and agile. So
I think one thing that's awesome. No, I'm being serious. One thing that's awesome about you, Harry, is that it's work hard, play hard. Like it really is.
You can
and as you said, especially when we were talking about like fast twitch muscle, a lot of it is natural. Like especially when you're talking about fast twitch
completely.
muscle, it really is. And you got, when we're talking about wingspan, height, fast twitch muscle, the way that you got introduced to soccer early, all these factors were pretty sort of lucky and genetic, but you've been able to put in the work and really make it happen.
That's a thing, right?
But that hasn't deterred you from also having a good time too.
Not at all.
How do you find balance, Harry?
How do I find balance? Balance is a ratio in my head, and it's just I think I got to find what makes me happy in all sectors of life and then jumble together. I don't think you can, if you focus too much on something, it takes you away from a special part in life. Like I've got mates who are professional footballers and they've put in the hard yards, right? Like year in, year out, day in, just putting it in. I'm like, dude, there's girls over there. Dude, that's one beer. It's okay. And he's like, no. But look where he is. They're all professional. Fucking good on them. But at the same time, they've missed out on so many key things in life. And I think that's where I stood out. For me, I actually told CDFC to their face, like, look, I want to do school. I want to commit to my school. I want to do all the above. I want to have a social life. And they said, all right, fine, have it. And I said, stuff you guys. I'm going to come back and still be a great footballer. And I did, right? Like I left Manly United, came back to Sydney FC, and that was literally in that time frame of where I was balancing life. Beers. And no, but you get me. Okay, balance for me, I can't even answer the question. I think you have to just be balanced as a human. And it's the way you brought up. I think, was it Leon? He mentioned that?
He did.
Yeah.
Well, Leon's one of the most balanced people I know.
Oh,
he balances it so well.
Yeah.
And, I think the thing I was talking about this with Leon, the way to balance all three of the sectors of your life, physical, professional, and social, is to have that fourth sector, that spiritual, that mindset that allows you to tap in and really become a balanced person. Because if it's all well and good to focus in on one thing, but if that deteriorates your health or takes away from your career or takes away from your social lives and your relationships, whatever give and take, there's going to be negative consequences. You got to try and become well-rounded. Otherwise, you're going to be pigeonholed in something that you don't want to be, labeled as. It's and that's that's the caveat of being a professional footballer to some extent.
Yeah.
Because now you're all in on this one thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of guys at the end of their career turn to things that aren't so good to get the same levels of kind of like happiness and rush that
That's
they
the
were
thing,
on
right?
the
I
pitch.
literally drained. I needed football. I was like, as soon as I stopped playing football, I had to go gym, right? And I think this is what brought it back, right? I quit for 8 weeks. I found a hobby, but then I found myself right back at football. I need that continuous endorphins just filtering into my brain and giving me that energy. Because to me, that's been my whole life, and that's been balanced. I've been balanced my whole life in theory, and without it, I'm not balanced.
No, agreed.
Sadly, it's a drug which I must have.
Exercise addiction is good.
Yeah.
Like it's good to like be energized by movement and to, you know, have that fuel you. Because a lot of people are fueled by caffeine or sugar or like, you know, just processed foods or
synthetic
whatever.
crap.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're fueled by your own physical health, that's, you know, that's a different type of motivator. And if you feel good because you are doing exercise and you feel good because you have a healthy diet, that only motivates you to go harder, to do more,
100%.
you know, and to listen to your body and really switch on and pay attention. I think this is something that's underrated about what you've been able to do in, you know, your football career. You know your body really well. Like when it comes to, you haven't been gymming for a long time, but you are really flexible. You're really strong. You can lift crazy weight. No, you can. For how long you've been gymming? For how long you've been gymming? Because for ages you weren't focused on the gym at all. It was football.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Football.
Okay.
5 sessions a week.
Yeah.
As you said, you barely had time for gym.
Yeah.
Then, you know, you started taking the football down a notch, and the gym started coming up.
Yeah.
You were all like straight away. You were not only didn't you have the size, but you had the strength too to back it up. I'm not necessarily asking what's your secret, but how have you been able to understand your body through so many years of physical movement with football to get to where you are today?
God, what a fleshed out question. I think it's all knowledge based. I've learned off so many people. I think it's having a mentor for me has helped me optimize my body the most. So training with those elite keepers, the amount of questions I'd ask them and they'd be like, piss off. I'm like, I have to know. I need to know your secrets, right? And it's just been passed on. So
yes.
And that's about health and body and how can I like maintain my body as a keeper. I'm battering myself right on the floor. But then back to the gym side, I'm so fortunate to know you, who just knows the gym, who knows the body well, right? And then the mates who are literal bodybuilders. So I think, you know, obtaining this knowledge for me has led me to be able to optimize my body and I suppose eradicate injury, but also like become this unique man who can feel that like large muscular area and just, I don't know, enlarge myself and just thrive that area. So I don't know. It's a hard question, Heath, but
Well, it's good to have a network of friends that you can lean on for advice when it comes
I
to
suppose
these
it was
things.
knowledge based and it's just learn as you go.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it's just, you know, the experience builds up over time and you get better.
That made no sense. Dude, I'm literally tweaking. I need some water. It made no sense.
Dude, I don't know what I'm talking about either when I come on this show.
That question was so hard.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make it.
I couldn't deal with the question. I was like, wait.
Okay. I'll tone it down on the question.
Oh my God. I was like,
Okay. All right. Let's go. I'll go for some easy, quick.
To me, like,
oh,
I'll
shit.
go for some easy,
Religion
quick
questions.
fire, quick fire questions for football, and then we can finish the football chat.
Yeah, let's chat about it.
We can move on. We can just move on.
So drained from football.
No. Okay, listen.
Oh.
What was the absolute best moment you had on the pitch?
Oh. So this is so stupid. It's so niche. Like none of you would be like, what the fuck? Like, so for me, high balls, when you come out and catch the ball and you gotta catch it at the perfect height. It's like this perfect balance between like, you know, obtaining the ball and then like being above a player. It's just like for me so satisfying. And I've been so bad at it my whole life, right? I've been so bad at it. So I think only until like 2 years ago, roughly, I became so good at leaping up and catching balls in the air. There was this one high ball came in and I came out and I was like, fuck, I'm actually gonna do this. I jumped up so high, punched this guy in the face, in the face as well, and then the ball. And he's just on the floor and he's like scrambling, the ball's going over there. I'm like, shit, yeah. I'm just like so G'd up. I was like, this is epic. I was like, this is why I do it.
And that's the most G'd up you ever been on
That's
the
the
pitch.
best thing I've ever done in football for sure.
Have you ever got into a fight on the soccer pitch? Like you sound like you're throwing punches at people.
No,
in
I didn't
midair.
mean to. I didn't mean to.
No,
I'm
I
actually
hear
quite
you.
reserved as a footballer, right? But I think when I left Sydney FC and I got quite emotional after Sydney FC, I had this anger inside me, and that's what fueled my football still as well. So it was a bit of both as well. But whoa, yes, I had a fight only because I was angry from Sydney FC. So
Did you win?
the game.
Did you win the fight?
Oh, it wasn't like a punch on. It was more just like I'm in his face, like
Okay.
bang, bang, you know, like just like in AFL where you grab their shirt and you
Yeah.
It hurts,
Yeah.
but I did that a couple
It
of times.
does, because you can generate a lot of power. You grab someone because the trick is you grab someone by the collar, drag them out, and then hit them through here. So you kind of drag them into the punch.
That's awful.
And you can even get the elbow in there and stuff. Anyway, we're not going to talk about
I'm
that.
not gonna-
But guys would do it to me, and I'm like, this is like this isn't footy. Like, we can go if you want, but this isn't footy, you know.
I think I remember Leon mentioning. I know, Leon. I'm sorry, I'll watch your podcast, but he mentioned water polo. That's vicious.
It's vicious.
I played it like one game for school, and like I was like, "Fuck these cunts!" Like they were, "Oh, mum, I'm sorry." They were like scratching me, pulling me, drowning me, and I thought I'm gonna do it back to them. But then the one time I did it back to them, I did it back to this like 18-year-old kid,
Oh,
and
you
he
drowned
was so scrawny. Pulled him under the water. He's like, I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Dude, I would
killed
literally
this
die.
kid.
I would literally die playing water polo. I like, it just wouldn't work.
Hit me
for
on the land.
No, yeah, agreed.
stop.
I'm a land type person. Like, when it comes to fighting and stuff, I'm okay. When it comes to like ball sports, like if you put me on the soccer pitch, I'm not gonna look.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look bad.
You're
like,
comfortable.
I've got good cardio. I got a long history of playing AFL. I'm not gonna look bad in the pool. Man, I'll look like I can barely swim after like 5 minutes of playing water polo. I'd be completely gassed out, like holding on to the side of the pool, trying to get that. Like it would be absolutely terrible.
Oh, I commend them.
I couldn't imagine. What was your lowest moment on the football pitch?
Oh, dude. Like, obviously, you can come from the point where it's like you made a mistake, right? But for me, it was playing my last game at Sydney FC and going, "This is it. Like, I can't go pro." Like, it just hit me on the pitch, and like everything froze. I was like, "Whoa! Like, I can't do it. Like, I'm leaving Sydney FC. I'm like, what am I doing? Like." And it just hit me. The ball was at their end. I'm looking around. I literally just like zoomed out. It's like, when you pinch your phone, and I just looked around. I was like, wow, like I've come so far now. I'm actually like letting it go because I chose to leave. Right?
Yes.
I didn't get let go. They asked me to stay on next year, but I was like, you're not going to play me. Moving on. In that moment, I just totally just took a deep breath and went, wow, this is it. Like, I don't know if I can go pro anymore. And for me, I'm an all-in man. Like, I like to go all in something or I don't. And for me, these last 2 years, learning how to have that balance has been so beautiful. I've grown so much as a human, balancing work, life, football, relationships. It's been brilliant. So that was my biggest moment for sure. Yeah, when I realized it was just done. Because to be honest, it's so hard to bounce back and go pro again.
Yeah,
like there's
once you're
keepers
out of the system.
There's literally keepers who played in the A-League and now dropped playing in NPL1 and they can't make it back. Guarantee you.
Wow. When it comes to an experience like that, where you described it as zooming out, like a very like almost psychedelic experience,
Yeah, it was.
kind of.
Yeah.
That's a big moment in your life, right? And those don't happen very often. They're like rare little moments that kind of change the course of, what you continue to do in the future. It could change the course of your life, really. What are some of those big moments? Like last game at Sydney FC, was there a like first game at Sydney FC like moment like that where you took it all in? You were like, I actually did it. I actually achieved my dreams.
Yeah.
And any others that come to mind? It could be outside of football too. Like, don't think just.
Well, obviously, when I had that moment of just like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just when I had that moment. I suppose what I felt in that moment was just that. I can't give the words for it. It's such a crazy experience.
Well, look, these experiences you can't really put words.
No, I can't.
Because they're not of.
Like, I wasn't angry, right? It was just I literally embraced it. I said, you chose this. You did your best. Because like I was so unhappy. I was barely being played. I played like 4 games that season out of 30 games. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
When I've come from playing every game, that it was just utterly depressing, right? So that moment was just I had nothing going on inside me. I had no feeling, no energy, no happiness. I was like, but this is it. This is my last game, and no one knows it. I was like, I'm leaving. Obviously, it's me. No one cares. Like people just playing football, but to me, it was huge, right? But then, in comparison, I suppose my first ever game, when I was like 16, I was like, this is sick. It was kind of like the A-League session, my first ever session. It was just great being able to just be amongst that professional environment. I suppose I took it in. I was like, I've done it. Like I literally went home. I was like, what? In the car, like I was so G'd up. I actually stole their grip socks. I had those grip socks, and I was like, I love these grip socks.
Just because you made it, like that was your token on.
Yeah, I was like Dobby sock.
Yeah,
like,
I did it.
Yeah.
I achieved my dreams. I think
Not yet.
like when you have a moment like that, like a real moment of success, you made it. Like you played for Sydney FC. That's a huge
Not A-League.
not A-League.
Train
but you
with them
played-
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
but you
I suppose it is a
so
big
you played
achievement.
in the division just below the
Yes.
reserve division.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a huge accomplishment, right? When you have when you had that goal in mind, right, and you achieved that goal, was there a sense of emptiness after, or were you kind of always
I always want more.
you always want
Not
more?
in the greed factor, but as in if I see someone doing a role, I go, I can do that. Like Redman, right? I was like, I can do what you do. And as yeah, that's literally it. I always wanted more, not in the greed way.
And if you see someone else doing it, it inspires you to go, if they can do it, I can do it.
Of course, just like stock trading, right? I see stock traders going like, "Hey guys, made 20K." I'm like, "Shut up!" And then I'm like, I can do that. So, like you said, I just had that, I think, natural ambition.
I think once you do something that's really difficult and you master it, like I always talk about, like I'm not going to say that I'm a master of martial arts, but I think my experience doing martial arts has been so difficult to learn how to do it that I realized that like, oh, if I just practice and spend thousands of hours doing something, I'm eventually going to get really good, right? And being able to take that lesson from martial arts and apply it to other areas of your life, like stock trading, you say,
couldn't agree more.
is awesome, right? And you learn that skill in football, right? When you were younger, when you were doing 5 sessions a week at the age of 16, right? And that mindset manifests itself into your professional life. And you had this goal of being a Sydney FC player, to play in the league.
This
that
completely ambitious goal.
exactly,
Yeah,
right? How have your goals changed now, and what do you envision the future of Harry
It's
Aquilina
funny
to be?
because the energy is always there for me. The energy's always stayed there, and the goals, it just changes, right? This last 3 months, it's been stock trading. So for me, my ambition was like, I want to make 20K by the end of the year, right? And that's my goal. Yeah. So I suppose for me, the Harry Aquilina in the future is, like you said, a balance. But I'm just so happy that I have this passion. I found this passion in stock trading, and now I'm going to flood my hours with it. And luckily, no one can drop me. No one can pass me on, or I can't leave the club. I'm my own individual sole trader. So for me, I think it's limitless, and that's why I literally fucking love it.
It's complete freedom.
I know people go, "Oh, stock trader finance, bro." I'm sorry, but I found a hobby where it is limitless. So for me, that is just brilliant.
Things that, bear a lot of freedom. Like stock trading, you don't have a boss, you don't have a schedule that you need to adhere to. No uniform, no one telling you what to do. Like that attracts a certain type of person that's willing to put in the type of time to learn a skill like that because they see the value at the other side.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And that's kind of like that's this whole podcast. Like no one's telling me what to do or when I'm allowed to release episodes or how long they're meant to be or what we're meant to talk about. But when people ask me like, "Oh, what are you doing the podcast about?" I say, I talk about whatever I want and we go until I really need to pee or until I feel like I want to go to bed. And so that's it. And for now, that's all that we need to do.
Yeah, you're
Farm
right.
these episodes up.
You're right, because in the end, it's gonna go somewhere.
And
This is
the exact thing with your stock trading too. Sometimes you win some trades, sometimes you lose your trades, but every time you learn, if you're doing
Literally,
it in a
like
disciplined
this
way.
week,
Bad week.
I got fucked.
Bad week.
I got fucked.
Well, it's been a crazy news week.
Tell me about it.
It's been a crazy news week.
Yeah.
Oil's up for all the wrong
Mate,
reasons.
You see, oh no.
Gold's up for all the wrong reasons.
There's a stock called INDO. Oh my god, insane! Up like 114%. Penny stock.
What are IND? Are they iron ore?
Indonesian oil.
Okay.
Yeah, nuts. So if you find like a little penny stock,
And they found a reserve? Because typically oil stocks blow up like that.
Yeah.
They're an exploration company and then they find a whole bunch of oil and they're like,
see,
here we go.
Like funny you say this, but I'm developing bots right now that like scans the market and tells you like based on news. And so I've been looking to a bot for, it's just like, natural disasters or just like events that cause massive quakes in like markets, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
So yeah, I was looking back at my database. I got like multiple oil stocks. I'm like looking at, and at 2022, for instance, February, Ukraine, Russia declared war in Ukraine, spike up. I'm like, boom. I'm like, this is easy money. I had to use this war. I had to use wars. I had to use disasters to make money. It's not morally right, but like, if there's an opportunity, I will take it.
I hear you.
And so,
yeah, and you're not contributing to these things by betting on the market in certain ways.
Yeah.
Like it's just reactionary.
Yeah.
And what has your journey looked like when it's come to the market? When did you first start trading? How did you even get into it?
I was 14, 15, getting into it. Very young. I was actually doing nursing, right? But I remember seeing people at university. I remember seeing like graphs. I remember my ex-girlfriend, I'm so sorry, Holly. My current girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend was actually so into it, like insane, like had Bitcoin at like what 2019. So, like she was a gun. And she had these coins, and she was just, and she showed me, and then yeah, moving on. So that just we need to cut that out.
This has been I'm being serious.
serious.
No, this is the most I've laughed. It's like in the 4 shows that I've done. This has been hilarious.
Okay,
Do we actually need to cut that out because you don't want to say that?
we'll see.
Okay.
I can restart.
Do you want? Nah, just keep. Who cares, bro?
So when I was young, like
It doesn't matter.
no,
It really doesn't matter.
but she actually scared me. She made me financially anxious.
Because she was so financially literate.
Literally.
I understand.
Literally. And I was like, am I behind in life? And having that feeling was awful. But then I came to realize, obviously, oh, come on, man, live life a bit, obviously. Yeah. So
100%. Well, it's exactly what we were talking about before with balance.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have a balance, and you have to be willing to spend money to have some fun while you're young, travel, do exciting things, you know, spend money on your health. All that sort of stuff is important.
Yeah.
And so you can't be super restrictive, but you also have to plan for the future and understand and try and understand it and see where it's going. Like everyone has the, you know, essentially the responsibility, you know, to understand where the future of humankind is going for their own benefit. You know, if you don't know anything about AI or blockchain technology, or you don't know anything about international events and what's happening in the news, you're an uneducated like member of the international community, and that doesn't benefit you when you're like trying to invest in things like crypto.
But
or
at
like
the same time, ignorance is bliss.
But it really is.
It really is.
It really
I
is.
hate that I know this shit now. It's like I wake up every day, I'm like, oh, what's happening?
Exactly.
Like Indigenous Australians, like they lived with the ecosystem.
Oh,
Beautiful. Like they didn't, you know, like my girlfriend, she's so beautiful. Oh, she's amazing. She's just opened my mind up so much. Love you, Holly. Moving on. She was talking to me about how like when the invasion happened, you know, on invasion day, like you would think that, oh, it's an invasion. It's normal. It happens, right? It's fine. But at the same time, you look at the technologies which both of them have, and they're different types of technologies. Yeah, the English are more advanced when it comes to, you know, like socio-economical stuff. But then you look at the Indigenous Australians, their technology, they were just, it's the way that they live amongst the ecosystem. That was their, like, that's what made them so individual and so amazing, being just amongst that community and not destroying it. Yeah.
There's a beautiful book called The Dark Emu. And it's about how Aboriginal people were far more advanced than we give them credit for. It's a really great read. My friend Eddie Bell put me onto it.
Yeah, okay.
And it talks about how they had all these amazing agricultural systems and like fishing mechanisms and like organized communities and things like that. And I think, you know, you said like when the English came over.
Poorly set up. Sorry.
You said when the English came over,
yeah.
it wasn't fine. And you're right. Like the Aboriginal culture, the Indigenous culture of Australia, they had the definition of sustenance-based living, right? Living off the land, animal-based diet, you know, a healthy population.
Not and then food chain, and then amongst it.
And then, you know, the English come in with disease and, you know,
disruption,
like slaughter campaigns, right? Which is terrible. And you know, now we're in the terrible situation that we're in now, right? And there's the Indigenous situation has been stained by so many, like, I feel like side arguments, you know, like should we do the welcome to country? You know what I mean? Like, should we have a member of parliament, like with the you know, the vote yes, you know, when they did the referendum, what was it, last year? And those things are important, but I feel like, you know, the real issue of celebrating, like, you know, their culture should be more celebrated than it is now. And these like kind of tangents might sort of take away from that. And a lot of people, when they see this, it kind of leaves a sour taste in their mouth because they don't want to feel like they're being forced down a path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't want something to be pushed down your throat, right? And no matter even if that thing's good, the Australian people don't want the government telling them what to do, even if that thing's good, right? And it's just not how Australians are. Yeah. But if we develop a natural love for the culture of the Aboriginal people, a true sustenance-based living culture. And the more we find out about modern civilization, the more that sustenance-based living actually seems better than the reality that we're in now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the further we get along this AI blockchain path, the more that we're like, oh my goodness, the Aboriginal people had it right for thousands of years.
What are we doing?
I know, right? And so there's real merit in acknowledging not only them, but their culture too. And I think that gets misrepresented with political events and news events and things. And look, Dark Emu, shout out, it's a great read. Gave me a I already respected the indigenous people and understood sustenance based hunter gatherer lifestyle living, but this book opened my eyes to advancements that I didn't think they had. I just didn't know. I was just uneducated to the matter, and it's so beautiful to understand your
God, I just get that masculine urge to just go live in a forest.
It's not my heritage.
Do you ever get that?
Oh, 100%. Bro, I love nature.
Really?
Dude, I love camping. I love nature.
Go for a bushwalk one time.
Dude, it's awesome. It's like nature is a medicine. It's the antidote to the anxious modern life.
Yeah.
It really feels like that for me.
Yeah.
Like if, wildlife and spending time in nature and out hiking, surfing, going in the ocean, having a good time,
it's that balance,
camping, fishing, all that stuff is if you could put that in a tablet and give it to me, I'd take it every day. I'd be addicted. I'd be hooked. I'd be going to Chemist Warehouse, getting repeat prescriptions, getting you to cash stuff for me. Dude, because I absolutely love it. Nature is it's for a lot of people, I feel like it is the solution. Exercise, diet, spending time in nature, good grounded relationships. And in my opinion, a form of spirituality that you genuinely believe in and is good and is objective good thing.
Yeah,
if your religion is a harmful, bad religion, then that's not good. No. But if you have a good, wholehearted religion, whatever that religion may be, that is probably good for you and good for the community.
Yeah.
So those 5 things, super important.
Definitely. That supports a whole framework, I suppose.
Do you have any frameworks that you live by as a person, Harry? It doesn't have to necessarily be spiritual 10 commandments type stuff, but is it just these things I won't do? I'm just not that type of person. And then these
Can you give me an example?
I'm really honest. I don't lie. I will not lie.
Really?
That could be something that you say.
Really?
Yeah. Well, for me, I try. This is my thing when it comes to that sort of stuff. I'm never going to say something blank like that. I was just giving an example. I do lie. I lie all the time.
Wait, so the lie was a lie?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess so. But no. I'm trying to. The thing is, I try and be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
But I'm not a perfect person, and I do lie. It happens. It just happens in conversation without me noticing sometimes, and I'll stop and I'll be like, "Oh, that's not actually true." The way I told that story, and sometimes I exaggerate stories too, and that's why this podcast. It's really important for me to try and be as natural as possible and to be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be authentic, and I want to be my authentic self. So I would say a personal policy of mine is to not lie. But I'm not perfect, and no one is. I have a moral code that I live by, but I'm a human being. I'm an everyday person, if you will, Harry. Do you like the graphics that we have set up?
Yeah, good.
They're nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Have you been using it?
Yeah, we've been, dude. Last episode, we were on the monitor for a couple hours with JP for maybe 3 hours. Sorry, my mum's just arrived. She's in the room, but she loves the podcast, friend of the show. But
come in here, friend of the show. But we have to do podcasts with all the parents.
Dude, my parents are they're not a direct sponsor of the show, but without them, I wouldn't be able to set all this up in this brilliant spot.
Sponsor.
I would be outside on the park bench with little Rode microphones and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it would be terrible.
No,
but,
fair enough.
Okay, so when it comes to stock trading, what's your goals for the future? I know freedom, for a lot of people when it comes to something like that is what they truly desire. They want to just wake up and have their income sorted without having to clock into a job.
That's what everyone wants, right?
That's what everyone wants. But I want you to take me further, Harry. What are some real long-term goals that you want to achieve?
Oh, look, I feel honestly at the start, I feel terrible because stock trading, you're taking money from someone else. They've lost that, you've gained that, right? But at the same time, go on.
If you're running a bakery, I'm selling you croissant. I'm technically taking money away from you too.
Yeah.
Right? Stock trading, if you're taking away money from large brokers and things like that, I'm not too concerned. If
they're filthy. But
I'm not saying they're necessarily bad, but you could make that, all I'm saying is you can make that justification for any business.
Of course. I think as a small individual trader, I'm not making too much incomparable to the huge hedge funds or the huge prop firms, right?
No.
But my long-term goal is to find some sort of edge of the market, which is classic. Everyone wants to find an edge of the market. But to me, I want to find one, and I'm determined, right? So in the next 3 to 4 years, I aim to quadruple my portfolio. Build it up to this massive sum of money. This is classic, right? Everyone wants to do this. Yeah, but from then, I just want that to be my job at 30. Like you said, last podcast we had, you go, "What do you do as a job?" And I was like, "What do I do as a job?" Like literally, I've gone to uni for 3 years, right? I've done a degree in majoring in finance, but currently at my job, and you've stated to me before that you only use about 20% of your university studies at your current job. Would you say less?
Less. I hate to say that.
Like, exactly,
I hate to say that.
exactly.
I'm not trying to be like I'm not trying to be mean or
No, it's
say anything
true.
untrue or talk bad about the university or my degree. I love my degree. It gave me the opportunity to meet so many amazing people and develop, a career for myself and provide a living.
Yeah.
And without that career, I wouldn't be able to set all this up. This costs like a bit of money. I had to sort some stuff out to get this to work. So, without that groundwork of university, I wouldn't be the person I am.
What I'm trying to say is that I haven't seen the opportunity provided to me through doing uni. Not enough. It is so saturated, right? University, jobs, it's so hard to get into.
Just uni's so outdated. Like it's just terribly outdated. And in my opinion, the method of learning, like people talk about like, oh, people learn in different ways, like visual learners and photographic learners, and then people who like to write things down. I reckon that they kind of like sell you that to sell you like a poor model of education when it comes to uni these days. Because it's just Zoom calls, it's just lectures that nobody watches.
Yeah.
It's just these quizzes that are super easy once a week. It's not hard.
No.
And the thing is, the discrepancy between uni degrees these days as well. I have a mate who's an aeronautical engineer. He's in his final year of uni. He's been there for 5 years and he's on this like crazy thesis project.
Yeah.
And he's spending like 40 hours, 50 hours a week on this thing, right? Plus on top of that, he plays footy at a high level and he's, super committed to his work as well. And so like, cause he's got a full-time job too. So he's just off his head with uni assignments all the time, studying for exams, just, cramming hours into it, absolutely in love with it. Whereas business, finance, marketing, all that kind of like soft skill type stuff, it's not the same. It really isn't. It's not the same level of education or commitment.
You're right, because what I see is those degrees, right, with such high difficulty, usually enter into a job of high pay straight away, and that like, I don't know, that like trust and like that the trust within the degree to get that job, there has to be that trust, and I think he has that trust in himself to obtain that, right? Whereas in a finance degree, it's so hard. It's just you can't predict what's going to happen.
So saturated to the market of finance kids. Like how many kids are aeronautical engineer who really know how to break down the physics of a plane?
Barely.
Right? And that looks like it's going to become more important than ever with planes falling out of the sky. So
God, don't mention that.
No, well, like it's absolutely
that was
terrible.
crazy, wasn't it?
It was absolutely terrible. Like, I wanted to actually get Joel on the show. Like, his name's Joel, my mate who's an aeronautical engineer, and I want to get him on the show ASAP to talk about this because it's really interesting.
So he studies it.
He does, and I was texting him today, and he's got a whole bunch of uni exams this week, so he can't come on. But we're going to get him on the show.
I bet
ASAP
you he watches
and
Plane
break this
Crash
down.
Investigation. Have you watched that?
I have. I know what you're talking about. It is fun.
The Rolls-Royce engine.
It's kind of like, it makes me feel so terrible though because so many people die in those things. Like
Bro, my
really
dad
does.
did those awful thing yesterday, right? I love my dad, right? But this is just like hysterically fucked up. And we're at like this like little gathering, like all our family, and someone's mentioning like what happened at their friend's wedding, which is like 3 days ago, right? This was like the groomsman like fainted and he fell off like the stage. Everyone went, oh. And then my dad goes, oh, hear this story. And he goes, one time this lady was, the bride was flying in a helicopter and it crashed. I'm like, Dad, that's awful. I'm like, what the fuck? He just like changed the mood of this whole family gathering. I'm like, this is fucking awful, Dad. It was,
Dude, but like plane crashes and helicopter crashes.
Sorry for the segue, but
That helicopter crash that we had maybe like a year ago at Dreamworld or whatever it is. They're so sad because it's always like children and they're just all instantly dead. It's just terrible. They're like those are the worst tragedies. That and also what's going on in Israel and Iran right now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real because we aren't there. It's crazy to see how many bombs going.
For sure. If you watch it on TV, that's going to be different than being in the bomb shelter in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Or or just on the street in Iran, just watching things going on. There's
nuts.
And I think it's so strange from Netanyahu to come out and say that these are like surgical attacks targeting their atomic bomb and nuclear sites, and then like the videos that come out, it's just an entire residential apartment building on fire, and you're like, come on, this doesn't make much sense, And it seems like it's just a regime change war. They want to decapitate the leaders of the Iranian regime, and they're doing that through strikes that are gonna hurt civilians and have killed.
I mean, they've been successful. I think
they have
10 have hit 6.
I don't know exactly the stats. We could maybe even see if we could pull it up.
Quite crazy,
but it's
they had these beautiful bunker buster missiles.
I think
bunker buster. Those things go down like 20 stories. Fucking so scary,
bro. Imagine being in the Iranian regime
in a bunker. I'm sweating.
And you see on the news that they got the Jews got a new bunker buster missile, and you're like, damn, we're cooked.
That's so fucked.
It is. It's crazy that in the 21st century, for all our advancements, for all the amazing things that humans can do, we still at war with each other.
I can't believe
still over ancient hatred. You know what I mean?
Literally, it's been going on for how long? I think a couple hundred years.
Like this, I guess you could say this really started post World War II. Yeah, I would say so. You're looking at 80 years.
Was it Israel started? No, Iran had that strip in Gaza, in Palestine.
We could get into the full history of the region just like super quickly. And I'm no expert, but essentially after World War II, there was this thing called the Nakba. There was a lot of Jews already in Israel occupying some land, but there was this large shift after the war, this thing called the Nakba, where a lot of Jewish people came from Europe to flee the hostile environment, to seek refuge in Israel, and they took a lot of Palestinian land, and that never sat right with the Palestinian people because they literally got forced out of their homes. And over the course of history, the Israelis have been taking more and more land from the Palestinian people to the point where they only have this place called the West Bank, which is quite a large area, but it's not as concentrated, and this little Gaza Strip, which is right next to the ocean on the other side. And it's an absolute tragedy what has been done to the Palestinian people who are still suffering today, and it doesn't really look like there's an end in sight. It looks like
I just can't believe those leaders. Like, I know everyone thinks this, but like actually think about it. Those leaders literally on a phone call going, "I'm gonna bomb you. I'm declaring war." Like, how do you even get to that point?
They don't talk.
No, obviously, but like, I'm just saying, like, there's that communication that happens. How do you, like, as a man, go, I want to just destroy a race? What the fuck causes that, like, stimulation in your brain? How have you come so far as a human to just want to kill?
To feel hatred for another race like that, I can't attest to. I don't have any experience in that. Yeah. I really don't, because I love all people equally. Yeah. I really do, and I can't imagine just based on race or ethnicity.
How do they go to bed? Like
wanting
question?
War on another nation, like genuine genocide from both sides. Like the Arabs, if the Arab community in the Middle East, if they had the world their way, Israel wouldn't exist. That entire place would be a Muslim sanctuary for them. Yeah. And maybe that's how the world should be. Like, it's pretty crazy to have a small little piece of, like, Jewish state right, like, in the middle, surrounded by countries that absolutely hate you because of the way that you acquired the land. And I'm not saying that Israel doesn't have a right to defend itself, or I don't think that they don't have a right to exist. As soon as you defend Israel, people are like, "Oh, you hate Jews, you're anti-Semitic," or whatever. I look more Jewish than anybody else. I'm not. I'm half Serbian, half Australian. But
Serbian?
I'm Serbian. You didn't know that? Bro, my mum's last name is Jelic, and my grandpa's name.
Dude, it makes sense. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
You look Serbian. Holy, I couldn't put it towards, because your dad's name is Rowan, and I'm like, where's that from?
No, well, he's Australian. What? Yeah, he's the English
so
side.
Strange.
And then my mum, she's that Serbian side. That little bit of that crazy.
I see the Serbian. Yeah.
Just a little bit of pinch of crazy, pinch of just stab you. Just crazy. Like,
this is why he's so zesty. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like Serbian people do some crazy things.
Ever had the rakia?
Oh yeah, we drink that. Like,
really?
We have to drink that all the time. No, I don't like it. I don't really drink. You know me.
I know you.
Like at funerals and weddings and big events, we do drink rakia.
Do you add water to it?
No.
It's called lion's blood if you add water to it.
No, I've never heard that.
It makes it white and silky.
Oh, I've never heard that. We just drink rakia.
Get it up.
Yeah, well, rakia. For people that don't know, I'm pretty sure rakia is an alcohol made from plums. And, Serbian and Croatian people drink it a lot.
Plum? I thought it was...
I believe it's plums. Pull that up, Carl. But it's...
Fact check.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Really?
It's disgusting. I don't like it.
It is rocket fuel, but 80%.
My Serbian side, I'm so grateful for it. Like, it does make me I can definitely as I've gotten older, I can like recognize my mum and my dad and their influence on me and who I am.
Wow.
And like when I'm talking, I'm like, oh, I sound like my mum right now. And then like other times I'm like, oh, I'm just like my dad. And I can identify that. And without the perfect mixture of both, that perfect mixture of like, you know, pretty classic Australian with that like crazy Serbian energy,
Stern energy.
puts me in this like perfect, you know, little flow
balance.
state. I feel
Yeah, I
like.
reckon.
I really love it. Without it, I don't know who I'd be.
That's what I mean.
Is
like,
it from plums? Come on, fruit brandy. Type fruit brandy. Popular fruits, plums. Bam.
Okay, nice. He's he's educated.
I don't want to get things wrong on here. Yesterday, I said Yuri Prohaska got tested 64 times by USADA, and that was true. Carl pulled it up on the podcast.
That's a crazy fact.
Yeah, come on. It's that retention. Well, this is the thing. Now that I'm going to be the host of this show, I got to sort of switch on.
Mate.
I got to have facts and stats.
You need like those
to roll.
like Jarvis glasses on. Just ask Jarvis.
Nah, the Meta AI glasses. Like you are currently talking to Harry Aquilina. Like, come on, bro. I know. You know, like what are they going to help me with? I think, you know, the best thing for me is just repetition, experience, do these episodes, farm them up, you know.
This is great. Like I struggled in speaking when I was young, right? I've gone to speech pathology and this helps me for sure.
It really does.
It does. But what's funny is my girlfriend notices when I say a sentence and then like I don't like it or I get a bit anxious about it, I say really quietly under my breath, like the same sentence. And I don't know if any of you noticed it yet, but I've done it the whole time
Wow.
So if I get anxious,
I'll probably, now that you've told me, I'll probably
no. But
I'll rewatch it when I'm editing.
It's like this.
Damn, I didn't.
So it's like I
noticed that
because I've been told to smooth it over because I don't say it right. So I don't know if you heard it. Sorry, but
no, I have, dude. I like even though people like your mum are like, oh, you're a natural at talking. Hold on, Carl. What were you gonna say?
Oh, but I think I did actually maybe like once.
Really?
What you noticed?
Because
you know you got him.
I didn't notice this until like 2 weeks ago.
Pull up pull up Harry studying it on the podcast and looking like an idiot. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Because I think you kind of like I heard this kind of sentence and I thought it was the same, but it was just really quiet.
Yeah, that's
why do you like? You talked a little bit about why do you think you do that, but does it have like long childhood history?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like that's
speech pathology. You're told to smooth your words over. Or
so how does that manifest? Because smoothing your words over, saying it twice, like you kind of like you're reinforcing it.
Definitely. Okay. It's like correcting it if I did it wrong. So like let's say I felt anxious about the speech, I would have been like, oh crap, I need to say it again so I don't get it wrong next time.
Yes, I understand.
But, I speak very quickly, as you can tell, and
we both do. This might be a hard conversation to listen to because I speak fast sometimes. Like when it comes to something I'm super passionate about, sometimes I can get too excited and just go all in.
Oh god, I find when I'm angry though, that's when I'm at my clearest. I can speak so smoothly.
You talked about this before.
Yeah.
You talked about channeling your anger when you're playing football.
Oh.
And I wanted to mention it, but we got on a tangent about octopus or something. When it comes to channeling your anger, because I literally have no anger in me. I don't. You've never seen me get mad, and you know it. I never get mad at anybody.
Actually, I haven't. Yeah.
Nah, because I genuinely don't have any like anger in me. I have energy in me. I'm literally just like a ball of electricity. And if I don't like expend it, I'm like, you know, if I don't use it up, then I can't sleep at night. You know. But I don't have like rage in me, so it doesn't fuel me that way. How does it fuel you, Harry? How do you develop that healthy balance with using like rage and anger?
Using rage and anger, like you said, you had to go through something or want something. So like when I wanted Redmayne's position, I was like, how can I make this into anger? I was like, I'm angry that I'm not in his position, and I was like. And that just obviously it wasn't the biggest fuel, but it added a bit of a bit of petroleum to the fire, right? And I was like, "Fucking no, it's sweet." Like it just gets me going. But then obviously when I got like dropped from football and like not dropped, injured, coming back, I was angry at life. That is a whole different type of anger. That's what completely fueled me. So I think it's based on experience. So you need to have some sort of experience which causes that or trauma.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Do you think it can be healthy to have an amount of anger that fuels you, or do you strive to have none?
I think you shouldn't have any.
Okay. But it's a natural part of life, though.
Yes, I think obviously you have to experience those downfalls and those turmoils, and then you learn from that anger and learn how, and then that molds you as a person, right? But you aren't angry at all, right? And you're so successful and so balanced as a person. So it just proves that there's many ways to do one thing.
No, I appreciate that, Harry.
Yeah.
I think like I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm successful. I'm just excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like,
your passion literally like reeks like success.
that's what. But that's
like which is so nice. Like, it's so refreshing, right? Like talking to someone like with that energy.
I really appreciate that because that's the whole kind of point of the show. My energy has to be infectious and transfer over to the other side of the screen.
Well,
Like,
this
it
is
really
why when I
does.
first met you, Ethan, at JD Sports, like we were instantly into like, I don't know, the most complex conversations
Yeah.
while selling shoes and JD Sports crap.
What did JD Sports do for you? Because I look back on JD Sports, and yes, there was like some long shifts and long hours, and days on your feet all day, and just working 24/7, balancing uni, the whole thing, right? Meal prep in the fridge, all the crazy things that come with working at JD Sports. But reflecting on it, I got a lot out of it, especially an ability to communicate with complete strangers, which I do a lot for work.
Yeah.
Right.
Investor relations.
What do you get out of the experience?
Talking to mums was like, no. I just found out. No,
He's undefeated. You are undefeated.
what do you mean? The communication.
With the mums, you're
actually,
undefeated.
they did put me in the mum section because I actually just love mums. I find them so easy and so
Mums
so
love
approachable.
you, Harry.
Hey, no. Actually, I did have a beautiful experience. I was asked to babysit for one mum one time.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. She was so stressed. But I think honestly, kids in JD Sports, they're either essays or just like loaded little essays. So you don't know which one you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But what I got out of JD Sports was definitely the communication. I think like that for me, that was going into like the deep end. But everyone sees me as like a personable, happy, energetic person which you can easily talk to. But JD Sports was quite frightening at the start, and it took me about 2 weeks until I got the hang of it, and I was out of the deep end, and I felt comfortable, and it's brought me so much like vocabulary and so much communication skills.
Yeah, and friendships too. Like without it, we wouldn't be here. Like we really wouldn't.
No, we actually
and,
wouldn't.
You're the best friend I've made from JD Sports, really. And it's, as you said, straight away. Like first day I saw you, as soon as we started talking, it was like, this is easy. It's like I've known you forever.
What's funny is the questions that we asked us on the first day of meeting. I don't know, you probably don't remember this, but it was like straight to the point.
What we
are direct humans. I was like, oh, what are you doing? How's the portfolio? Like, oh, you're not bad. No. It was just like, what are you doing? This and that.
Well, I remember when I first met you, you were studying nursing.
Yeah.
And I feel sort of like, you were a little bit inspired by our conversations because at that time I was doing, pretty intensive BAC program, Bachelor of Accounting with a major in IT. And I was just finishing that up at UTS. And we were talking all about business and finance all the time. Right. And you always had a natural like kind of knack for it, but you decided straight out of high school to do nursing.
Yeah.
What was the decision there to make the switch? And then, what was the initial drive to get into nursing in the first place?
Oof. I've always loved healthcare. I think anesthesiology, so anesthetic nursing. That's quite a difficult area in nursing, and it pays brilliantly. Like base rate's like 170K. I was like, fuck, sick. I was like, good money. And back then, I didn't know much, right? I've been doing football my whole life. I haven't been exposed to much education.
I hear you.
So for me, I saw opportunity, and I saw I should take it. That's easy. I'll do it. Not easy, but like it's doable. So yeah, that's why I did nursing. And I really enjoy helping people. I think. Then my sister's ex-boyfriend chopped and changed like 4 degrees. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, stick with one, bro. Finish it. He's like, no, I'm trying to find like what I want. I don't know. And I just thought about that. And I thought about that every day for a good 2 months. I was like, Mom, I can't do nursing. She's like, what? What? You almost finished the whole... I'm like, I can't do it, Mom. I can't do it. And then I think there must have been so many factors, like the universe talking. Like it would have been you, Cooper, my sister's ex, my ex, all these factors, my dad, I don't know, just you definitely impacted me. But all those factors made me go, shit, I need to go into a degree where it's broad and I can branch out. So yeah.
I want to talk about your relationship with your dad a little bit because you talk about your dad really highly, especially from an entrepreneurial perspective. Like I've heard you talk about stories about him setting up businesses, selling them, moving on to a new venture, starting something up from the ground
Wrong
up.
dude.
Am I wrong?
He's just done a lot of like career paths, like a lot of professions.
Okay.
But
he's inspired a lot in you though, Harry. You talk about him with,
Oh, definitely. I hold my
serious
father
gratitude.
high. Yeah. I mean, raised in like a Maltese family, being beat like
Bro, I'm Serbian. They don't hold back either.
really these days.
Well, that would be great.
No,
but when I was 12,
yeah.
and I was
I get it.
nah, well, like
It happens.
I don't think I'd ever hit my kids really.
I can't now. You get.
But I'm not gonna necessarily say it was bad for me. And I was a naughty kid. Like I'm a ball of energy.
Yeah.
And over time, I've had to learn how to like constrain that and put that into manifest that into the right outcomes for me. And for years of my life, I didn't do that. I was
Real question. Did you ever have the monkey leash?
the monkey. Oh, that's crazy. Nah, that's crazy. Nah,
I had that.
That's crazy.
I stole my mum's coffee like at age 6.
They put you on the leash, Harry.
I was drinking coffee at age 6. I would like go to my mum's coffee, like slurp it, and they're like, "Where's Harry? Where's my coffee?" And I'm just running around like, "Oh."
See, that's too much for me. The leash is crazy. The leash is crazy.
I was ballistic.
You were just. What were they feeding you, Harry?
The coffee. I stole my mum's coffee.
Why would you have it?
I don't know. It just looked good. It looked appetizing.
And they kept giving you coffee?
Yeah.
Bro.
No, as in like I would steal it. They didn't keep giving it, but like
Okay.
it was in my little reach. I was like, oh yes.
And then you would just tweak out and be like, we got to get a leash for this kid.
Yeah.
That's so
Don't worry,
crazy.
the leash stopped. Wait,
You
what
damn
were we
hope
discussing? What were we discussing?
I couldn't tell you.
It was
Football?
football. Fuck off. Too much football chat.
Have you been, did you pay attention to UFC?
No, but you love it.
Oh, I love it.
I need to come for a
day.
session with you.
Right, well, like, honestly, I really want to have UFC being pulled up on the pod. Like, I actually, so far we've done 4 episodes. You're our 4th episode. Well, technically 5th because you did the tester.
Yeah.
And we've only done just like regular conversations with people. Just, like interview style, but also just like shooting the shit, having a good time.
Yeah.
I really want to start mixing it up. Like, you and I play a game of chess. We do 30 minutes and we just talk and that's the episode. Who wins and just put it out. Or we just watch a UFC card together. We bring the guitars out.
I love
here.
the random idea.
Like,
I love it.
I've got a mate who loves poetry. He's an amazing poet. I actually went to Everest Base Camp with him. His name's Riley, same name as my brother. And I've known him since, we were in kindy, and he's an amazing poet. He really has a way with words. And I would love to do some spoken word poetry on here with him. It would be awesome.
That'd be wicked.
I've got plenty of mates who are musically talented. I play the guitar too, so we could get some jamming going. I've played trumpet for years, so I could get the trumpet down. I don't care what we do down here. I'm trying to have fun, you know what I'm saying?
I like it.
I want Carl to be producing and playing the drums at the same time. That's my real vision for the show.
Start building those like sound effects up.
I want that live show. And we're at the moment we're trying to figure out the capabilities to get music.
Can we do
on the
role play?
show.
Can I come in as like Donald Trump one night?
Like a
And like we're like a
legit,
big.
like then we're doing like a legit comedy podcast though.
Okay, well
And
you
then
mix it
there's
up.
real pressure on us to be funny.
It's just funny being Trump.
If you came in with the face paint on and the
The
hair,
orange
bro,
fake tan.
you're almost there. Like, you're like the wrong way around. You got the orange hair and then like the pale skin. You need the pale hair and the
Yeah.
orange face.
we had
You're
the
not
same
too
hair.
pale though. I don't mean.
Oh, I don't give a
I'm
crap
not
about
trying
my
to see
skin.
that.
Don't worry. Yeah.
You look cute, bro. There's no stress.
Thanks, bro.
Oh man.
Come into the show, just thank me.
Trump quote.
Oh no, the Trump quote. Like, man, what do you like? I know you're pretty.
Shivs, you are on it with the questions. I need to ask you a question.
Ask away then. Ask away. If I've been talking too much, you got to shut me up.
No, I've been talking too much.
All right, fine. Ask me
Because your questions are so deep, and I'm like, crap, how do I answer this? I'm on like 2 brain cells right now. Like literally, it's so bad. I've been studying so many stocks that I'm seeing graphs when I close my eyes.
How do you treat burnout then? Because I know you work hard.
Dude,
You work
I
hard.
don't have it anymore.
What do you mean?
I've
You just
turned the
keep
corner.
going?
I've turned the corner.
You just keep going.
It's weird. It's like being an
Do you
adult.
drink caffeine?
Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
Like 1 coffee a day.
Okay.
Obviously, if I'm burnt out, I'll have one at like 2 p.m.
Mm.
But yeah, it's crazy. I think it's just being an adult. My mum goes, trust me, you'll be fine. Like I remember I was being 18. My mum goes, at 22, 21, you'll be fine on 4 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep. I'm like, really, mum? She goes, yeah. And so today, 5 hours sleep.
Dude,
Unreal. Like
I not relate to that at all.
I know, but really,
I get like 8 hours of sleep every night without
you
it.
must.
Yeah. Or I must. Like on Saturday night, we had BAC ball. I was out until 3 a.m. Like it's just how the game goes. Work
Yeah.
hard, play hard. What we talked about
100%,
before.
yeah.
But if I have the opportunity to get 7, 8 hours of good quality sleep, that's what I'll do.
you know? And these days, like, even though I was out till 3 a.m. the other day, I'm not drinking. So it's not necessarily changing, like, and mixing up my circadian rhythm too bad, as long as I do the right things in post. And then, like, it's that balance, right?
100%.
Like, right now I'm in, like, a real, like, wellness mindset. I'm really trying to, like, sort some things out with my body and just, like, really become, like, 100% full, like, Ethan potential when it comes to, like, being physical. And I'm looking out of a fight at the end of this year, early next year. Like, I got to be an absolute.
Is it headgear?
Well, probably not. I wouldn't.
Really?
Headgear's annoying.
No, but you might. Oh, Ethan.
And if there's no headgear, then
I love
I
you.
can't knock
I
someone
fear for your
out.
health.
The good thing about
you choke 'em
headgear,
out.
the good thing about headgear is you can still knock people out with knees and uppercuts because the chin is still sort of exposed. But I love hooks so much, and there's so much padding on the side of the head that, like, I've hit people with headgear, and it's like, what are we doing? You know,
Like we're serving.
If you're sparring, then that's different. You should wear headgear because you're training, right? But I'm talking about a legit fight.
Okay.
Headgear gets
So,
in the
so
way.
you're saying that you back yourself as a fighter?
I wanna express myself
like-
through martial arts, and restraints to that include rules and gear.
Okay.
So the least amount of rules is the MMA, really, and the least amount of gear, the better, which is also MMA. So that's why I love MMA.
So you're
much.
capitalizing on that. Do you think?
Oh, I'm not capitalizing on it. I just love it.
Or is it even playing field?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just the most fun. It's just the most fun.
I've got to come to
It's
the
like
first fight.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying, because it's gonna be awesome.
I know it's pressure, but like by all means, like we're all there for you.
It's pressure. It's pressure for sure. But that's the whole point of having the fight.
Yeah.
I do love Muay Thai too, so I'm not.
So see how you love fighting, right? And I think a lot of fighters had that natural anger in them.
Yeah.
Like you say you aren't angry.
No, I'm not angry.
So then what fuels you to fucking beat someone up?
It's fun. I don't know. I love it so much.
Are you getting fun mixed up with like
It's like real life chess.
disintegrating?
It's real life chess. It's real life problem solving. Like Joe Rogan says this, it's real life problem solving with dire consequences, and that's completely true. It's people that see it online or see like UFC highlights, but they're casuals, they're not real fans of the game. They don't understand the technique.
Yeah.
They don't understand the sacrifice. They don't understand the cardio involved and the preparation that it takes to get to this level. And they see it and they're just like, oh, this is like, just senseless violence. But it's not. It's, very technical. It's a chess game. It's a war of technique and planning and strategy and cardio.
Yeah.
And especially mixed martial arts, when you're talking about all the disciplines combined. That's why I'm such a fan of the game. That's why I practice it myself.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. It really is.
Yeah, wicked.
What, like,
Well said, Ethan. Wow. No, actually, I admire that
I
completely.
could talk about MMA all day. That's the thing, and I will. That's why I got this podcast. Set it up.
It's gonna turn MMA.
Yeah, I was gonna turn into.
You gotta
MMA
get like a little belt there or something.
Oh, dude, I actually really wanna. I really wanna like customize this set. But right now you can see it. It's really nice and clean.
I like it.
Like it's clean. There's no distractions. It's
Yeah.
really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels comfy. I want to have some things in here that are kind of like talking pieces, but
Just like random.
at the same time, I don't want it to feel cluttered or
You don't want to ruin the white
unprofessional.
walls because it's your parents.
Yeah, and like if I set a bunch of stuff up here, like I was thinking of bringing some stuff down, but like I'm a pretty crazy dude, and I like to have some pretty mature conversations on this podcast and not get sidetracked by like, oh, I got this sick knife in the paw. Look how sick it is.
Yeah. Wait,
Like,
that actually happened?
I do. I have some. I was going to bring some. I've got this great, like a gurkha knife. This thing called a kukuri, which is this giant knife that they gave me at the start of the trek to, just like because at the start of the trek. You're in like at the start of the whole trip, we're in Kathmandu, and there's opportunity to like, it's still in civilization, so you can buy things, and there's tigers and stuff, and snow leopards, up in the mountains.
So you like either.
So I was like, a knife is cool and potentially functional, and it's cool to walk around with a huge knife too.
Is it legal? Just to hold it?
Yeah, bro. Everything's
Wow.
legal. Everything's legal in the pool. They don't care. It's just, I didn't see any police while I was there the whole time. Like, it's just, it's just a really like tight knit community, Kathmandu, because it's in this village surrounded by mountains. It's an incredible place to visit, even if you don't do any trekking.
Yeah.
And if you do any trekking, it'll be the best experience of your life.
Yeah.
Have you ever like, I know you're
I haven't
relatively
been able to travel much.
That's what I mean.
Football.
Like,
I've been stuck.
that's what I'm
I've
saying.
been a gladiator essentially. Like I've been on the whip. I can't move. But look, I think with being semi-pro now, it's great. I can travel now. So I aim to get my first property at the in 2 months, I think.
Okay.
2, 3, and then the rest of the year I'm gonna cash up, and then just go. I don't know.
Where are you going?
Look, everyone wants to do Europe, but it's not time of the season. I think I'll start New Zealand, and then maybe go Japan for snow season.
That's what
I don't know.
dude.
I don't
I've talked. If you watch the Leon episode, we talked about it. Then Europe 2026, their summer,
We'll be
we're
there.
gonna be there. The same time that the World Cup is going on in the US. Like, boy, that's gonna be
Shit, going. I actually forget USA exists.
You know what?
How wicked would be go to US? Be awesome.
Oh, dude. Well,
Grand Canyon.
I
I'd enjoy that.
I want to go to Europe more than US right now.
100%.
I really do. It's just more. I think it would be more fun, and I think the US. I definitely want to go there, and I'd be so lucky to just get a 4-wheel drive and just go around the States would be awesome. Like a big 4-wheel.
I'd love to go
camper.
Egypt, but we just can't right now.
Oh, dude, Egypt would be.
My dad went to Egypt.
Oh,
Oh, nuts.
dude.
He told me it was beautiful.
Egypt is on the bucket list. It always will be. I can't not go there.
No.
I really need to. Whatever I do in my life, I really need to go to Egypt. Like, you're a big fan of ancient history.
I actually really enjoy it, but never got into it too much.
Fair. Did you start studying
Modern, I did, yeah,
Okay.
a bit. Like, I wasn't too immersed.
I think ancient history is fun because modern history can sometimes be a bit depressing.
Also, just like repetitive, like war.
It really-
Whereas, like with ancient, you got all sorts of gods and all sorts of weird creations.
Yes, and it's very open ended too. Like modern history, especially in the age of like podcasts and like free speech really being actioned, where anyone just like you and I are doing right now can come online and share their opinion.
Yeah.
Right. The narrative of World War II, of the Vietnam War, of all these 9/11, all these things get really challenged now by like people who are conspiracy theorists or potentially real historians who are like, look back at the record, this is what really happened. So there is space for like some unsolvable mysteries in modern history, but not like in the ancient world. In the ancient world, we have artifacts where we have no idea how they're able to move these stones, no idea how they were able to make.
I can't
these
fathom
buildings.
Egypt.
Like, Egypt
Can't.
Egypt's the biggest mystery of them all.
You should look into it, chat.
Oh, we can get into it right now. We can look into it.
Oh, can we look at like one little theory? Oh my god, I just can't believe.
I can tell you about a couple theories if
hit
you
me.
really want.
Well, this is-
like it's all just conspiracy theory stuff
Yeah.
that I got to know nothing
I mean,
about.
this guy
but,
says-
I got it on recall right now. There's people that believe that it's actually an energy production machine. Like the whole building is connected and coiled down to the earth. And recent LiDAR footage has shown structures that go down below the pyramids
That's crazy.
that could be connected to other levels of the earth, right? Which is crazy and goes against everything that we thought the pyramids were in the
Yeah.
first place, which was just a conventional burial site.
That is a whack.
So here we go. Conspiracies in ancient Egypt. Can we get a hit
Oh,
list?
you should
Can
do
we just get-
ChatGPT.
Can we get a hit list of some of these
serious.
maybe
Chat, summarize it.
so I can just read them in quick fire? But there's so much going on with Egypt, but I feel like the archaeological community is quite hesitant. I talked about this with JP yesterday because he actually has a bachelor's degree in ancient history.
He would have. Oh mate, get him on for this. Why am I discussing this shit?
Because we talk about whatever I want on this podcast, Harry, and we're here. We're talking about Egypt.
But he should be talking about. Oh, JP would have been a beast.
Oh, dude, he's so smart.
He's so knowledgeable.
And so many people texted me the next day after watching the show saying he should be hosting the show. He really should. He was
Ethan.
amazing. No,
Dude, I'm gonna
JP,
I'm gonna get shat on.
no, you're not. You're
gonna get shat on.
You're here. Okay, every single one of these episodes is literally just a celebration of being able to be here and do the episode. Like, these episodes don't matter. The future ones matter. So these ones.
So I won't be there in the future.
No, you will. You will. You will.
Joke, it's a joke.
No, you genuinely will, Harry. And
Was that loud? Sorry. I yelled in the mic.
Okay, Carl, what are we looking at? Some serious Illuminati shit, but I feel like, this is what the people want to see. This is from 2019.
Wait, how old is JP?
Extraterrestrials helped the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids at Giza. The remains. See, this is getting down some crazy conspiracy stuff. I don't necessarily.
No, give me a cup of coffee for this one. Like,
dude,
take too long.
We can't get into this.
No.
We did 3 hours last night. I can't do 3 hours again.
What does he do?
He works in finance now for
What's he do there?
like he's actually very client facing. So he's doing
good.
like large
Good to
corporate
see
deals. He's great and he's very well rounded intellectually.
What's his name?
I actually don't know if I was allowed to say that he works there, but you asked
What?
me and I'm not gonna. I don't know because he didn't say yesterday and I don't have his permission, so I might have to cut that. But
That's all right.
if it's not cut, here we are.
If you find him on
we're still
LinkedIn.
looking at Egypt. But no, honestly,
it's legal.
JP, I have nothing but good things to say about JP. He's absolutely just a well-rounded individual, and he speaks just as well, if not better, than I do. Probably better in that episode. I was watching it back, and I was like, he should be hosting.
I
the show.
already know I said some stupid shit.
No.
Like, I remember I just, look, he's laughing, you know. Yeah, is it true? I just went into a little spiral. Oh,
Harry,
God,
Harry.
I'm battling. 5 hours sleep today is not good.
Listen,
Energy.
listen.
But I
It
should've
is the energy.
But I should have came more energized.
Listen, no, I think people appreciate the connection that we have between each other, and
Yeah.
because of that connection, because we're being authentic and we're being funny, people can kind of tag along with that. I think this
Okay.
is going to be the funniest podcast we've done so far.
diverse.
Not necessarily because we've had great jokes or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah,
because the vibe's been fun.
I
You
hope
know
it-
what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And
people-
that's all I want with these shows.
You know what? You're not wrong. I was listening to all your podcasts today, right? I was like,
You're the goat.
I don't know why. I was like, fuck it. I was working on laborious work, and I was like, shit. Like the parts where the energy, like just builds up. I was like, I just looked away. I looked away from a monitor. And I was like, I'm engaged. I loved it. I loved it. I love the good positive energy. I love that. I don't know. It just triggered me. It was great. Where you just you said so many funny things, Ethan, and you need to look back at them. My mum and I were hacking the car here.
That's so funny to hear.
I love it.
Like, what have we done? An hour and a half? We can do some more. Okay, what?
I'm only picked up at 8.
When are you getting picked up?
Please. Manners, Ethan. Come on.
I'm just asking.
Oh, I meant like to text my sister.
Oh,
just send
sorry,
me-
You just sent the like.
Kidding, Ethan. I'm kidding. He just sends the address. I'm like,
Oh, turn those back on. I can't. It's so funny.
I'm so good to keep going. I will lock back in, but
No,
I need
it's
some
so
more water. Like I'm
Oh, Carl, do you mind grabbing Harry another bottle of water?
so sorry. I'm so
No, it's fine, bro. Dude, yesterday,
Regular.
just grab him a regular.
Thank you.
Can I actually get another bottle of water, Carl, too, please? Thank you. I appreciate that. Dude, we did an episode with JP yesterday. We went for 2 hours and 51 minutes. I gave him 2 bottles of water. He didn't even open them. He didn't drink water the whole time.
What?
I downed so much water that I had to end the podcast because I had to pee.
I have to pee right now, but I'm fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
hold it.
easily, yeah.
Bro,
I'm-
it's
I'm
one of
a-
those things where if you're locked into the conversation, you can just zone it out.
So are you serious? That man didn't touch water.
No water. He's one of the healthiest guys I know too. Like JP and I, we talked about diet and exercise a lot yesterday. And people, like when you're listening to someone break it down who really knows what they're talking about.
Pause. You are so smart.
No, I'm not.
No.
What do you mean?
I know why. Because Ethan targets your interests and he targets your passions. And then from there, he exploits that. And then what you do as that person, you become excited. You express it. And
This
then,
is such good content
and
right
then
now.
you capitalize on it. I fucking know you so well. You're so fucking smart. What a little shit. He knows me because he goes, football. I'm like, ooh, I like tingle, And then JP, fitness. I knew it. You're so cheeky. Am I wrong, though? Or is it like natural for you just to target that because you're a salesman in that sense? Like
well, that's what JD
See?
Sports taught me. Really, it's the experience of selling to customers, knowing a whole bunch of things about shoes. And I was really passionate. I was a sneakerhead back in the day when I was in year 10. Who wasn't, you know?
I mean, it made working easier,
It's
right?
it's a lot of fun, and that developed a skill set in me. And you're right. I'm trying to have a productive conversation where I make it entertaining
Well,
for people.
it starts it nicely.
And
Definitely
ask complex questions, have like a fun chat that's exciting while still getting deep. And the whole point of this show is for me and you to discuss the human experience and connect so the audience can feel it. That's my real aspirations for the show. Like people talk about having, good guests and things like that and getting like a good repertoire and getting people who are real experts.
Yeah, man, status.
I think the podcast world has kind of become more focused on the knowledge and the numbers. Like, we have this expert on who's going to give you the top 10 facts, and those top 10 facts are going to get clipped and put on Instagram, and that's going to be the big podcast, right? And it's become very methodical. But I think what people are really after is genuine connection. And I think that comes in multiple different forms.
Yeah.
And via a screen is one of the worst forms of it. But the connection that you and I have right now, Harry, is no joke. Like, it's legit. It's an energy in this room, and there's energy within me and energy within you. And we both have such infectious, strong, personalities. And hopefully, I'm betting on that to sell. That's what I'm betting. And my conversation skills, as you say, being able to weave into topics that you're excited about, that's part of the game. If I can't do that, no one's gonna watch. So I'm just sitting here, and I know no one's really watching right now. It's just my friends. And
See, put me in your shoes, and I sit there. I guarantee I'll try to pursue the same thing which you just did, and just try nitpick at my brain or your brain, because it must be fun being in your position, being the host, right?
It is fun.
Yeah.
And I think
So how's that feel for you? Like, with experiencing different people, different genres.
it's a privilege. It really is. Like, I know we're only 4 episodes in, but I learned so much yesterday on the JP episode. He's so knowledgeable.
You must be so. Imagine taking in 3 hours of someone's knowledge about fitness, who's so
And
immersed.
it's not just fitness.
That's like
A whole
milking.
bunch of-
That's like milking someone for like their literal life. Like,
But think about it. All those years of experience, he has 3 different uni degrees. He has a master's degree.
3?
Studied in a PhD program in Hamburg, in Germany. Like one of the most accredited young people I know, because you don't see that very often.
No.
You see a lot of accredited people who are 50, 60 years old who come and give you the same speech that you heard 100 times. But not very often do you see someone who's balanced in all 3 spheres, like we talked about before: social, physical, and professional, and who can put it together lovely on the mic. Honestly, JP could start his own podcast. He is that knowledgeable about so many things that so many people are very interested in, and he should, just like you think like, oh, I'm so good at hosting. Like he's
like
yesterday he was outdoing me. He really was.
I just can't believe that, Ethan.
No, well, watch the show. It's proof. Like, and that's a testament to him.
I watched an hour.
It really is.
When does it get saucy? Like, when does it get like he's expressing things with such depth?
Like he talked about the Cuban Revolution for a while, and that was very eye-opening.
Ancient history. Sorry.
That's not necessarily super ancient. He also he also had degrees in geopolitics and international relations too. So he's well versed when it comes to all things modern history, recent events, the current climate, and we talked a little bit about that as well. And then, as you said, fitness, martial arts, travel.
How old is he?
I believe he's 28.
Yeah, okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but I only really met JP really recently, 3 months, 4 months ago, and we just have an amazing connection. It's amazing. His ego is disconnected from the conversation in a way that you don't find in many people. That sort of humility is really rare, and I recognized it straight away. I was like, wow, this guy is not. He has the wisdom to be humble almost. Like he's so knowledgeable that because I feel like there's stages in life that you kind of go through. You break the naive veil. So you're naive, you don't really know anything. Then you break the veil and then you're super pessimistic about the world. And then wisdom kind of brings you into an optimistic state because you realize it's the best way to function. Like he's at the end of that journey. And I feel like, I'm somewhere along that path. And he just feels so grounded and so him. And that's what I'm trying to do with this podcast. I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to be authentic. And I think I do that really well. Like I wouldn't be betting on myself the way I am if I didn't think I could do that. But JP, he brings it to another level.
Oh, wow.
He's inspiring. And it's amazing to have inspiring friends like that.
You'd be a great MC.
That's run it up.
You coming to mum? You coming to mum?
Harry, you're actually the GOAT. Do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I'm knackered.
Dude, this has been an awesome episode. As I said, this is going to be a lot of fun, and it always is.
Oh,
Harry.
God, I'm so scared.
Nah, dude.
I know I said some absolute blubber.
You're absolutely fine, Harry. I love you, and we'll see you later, everyone.
Thank you.